Welcome to Mind Your Business, the channel where we are in everybody's business. If you don't mind getting in people's business, you're on the right channel. Talking about current topics and gossip.
Hey, my nosy people. Well, go on. I hope everyone is blessed. I want to say a big thank you to all my new subscribers. Welcome to Nosy People Them Crew. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button. Anyway, I came on here to talk about Ready to Love. So, of course, AP went home. I did say last week that I thought she'd go, so I wasn't surprised to see that she was the one that was eliminated. So, Precious has got a second chance in the process. So, they kicked off with the barbecue. And at the barbecue, of course, the drama began with Laverne suggesting truth or dare. Now, a couple of things I won't pick up on. Or let's talk Carmen. Now, Carmen to me is an interesting character. Now, look at what she did last week, where she kind of basically tried to piss on her territory in the sense of making her play with Eric when she saw Dakia and Eric getting on very well. So to me, this week, she got a taste of her own medicine during the truth or dare game that Laverne decided to, come up with the idea of doing. When they asked Joy to kiss the person she's most connected with, she kissed Clifton, which isn't surprising to anybody who's been watching. But Carmen, her face was hilarious, and she's acting like, because he fixed her plate, and obviously she likes him. She was not impressed with that. But it just made me think, well, honey, this is what you did last week to Dakia. So it was interesting that you feel a way about it because, Joy comes out of nowhere as far as you're concerned. And I'm watching it thinking, no, they've got a connection already. So that just made me laugh. And then Dakia's question to Carmen, I thought was very telling because I liked the way she posed that question about, does she have any real genuine connections or is it just a case of, the selection? So I felt like that was had a slight undertone of basically, if Dakia is aware that obviously Eric and Carmen know each other from outside of this process. So to me, it was kind of like a shot at saying, well, look, you have known this man from before and now you're kind of making your stake on him and talking to others, obviously. So, yeah, is it genuine? Like, what is it really about? So I thought that was an interesting question. Carmen does come off very territorial to me because the way she did that last week with Eric, it was almost like a dog pissing on territory to say, yeah, this is mine. And then now this week with Clifton making her a plate of food for her and bringing it to her, she felt like she was probably in better standing with Clifton. And then obviously when Joy comes and kisses him, she wasn't too impressed with that. She looked quite vexed. It cracked me up. Now, Sabrina and her little love triangle, well, I think she's kind of enjoying having the two of them there. Like she likes Demetrius, she likes Tori, but I feel like she likes Demetrius more. I've said that already before. And obviously, clearly she does because she went and chose to nibble on his ear during the truth or dare. But it was interesting because I didn't realise, obviously, watching it, and obviously we're not in the process, so we don't get to see, 45 minutes or whatever of the show, and basically, or 40 minutes or whatever we get of the show. But basically, what I didn't clock was that it seems to everybody else that she was well connected with Tori, because it came as a surprise to one of their faces. I mean, even Joy was like, oh, Tori, you should just get up. So I thought, I felt a bit bad for Tori in that moment, but at the same time, it's like he's put all his eggs in one basket. And I feel like Sabrina is enjoying kind of having the two of them there, but also felt a little bit bad towards the end. You could see her face when he gets up. But obviously they kind of spoke about it. But I think now Tori is starting to realise that he has to basically, not put his eggs in one basket and make sure he's also getting to connect with other people in the process. Because if she really likes him, she'll come to him, right? It's just like what they say about sometimes, you got to let them go. So I find it interesting, like I said, that from our perspective of watching it, we can see that there's a connection between Sabrina and Demetrius. But Tori seems quite blindsided, so I'm not sure if it is because, like he said, he's got his blinkers on, he's got his rose-coloured glasses on, so that's why he's kind of looking at it that perspective. But yeah, he does need to connect a bit more with the other women. I feel like he was kind of slipping into like a like Cornelius of last season, but like the way that he got sucked in by Carmen, but obviously Carmen was completely different to Sabrina. But But my point being is the way that he just kind of put all his eggs in one basket. So I think it's important that, you know, they do get to kind of explore. I think that's the whole process. It also helps you stay in, doesn't it? So they've also got to be a bit strategic. Although I don't mean that in the way of just staying in to stay in. You want to stay in because you've got genuine connections. But that's the point. You've got to have connections, because just one connection might not keep you there. And was it feeding season in this episode? Like, why is everyone getting fed in this episode? So you've got Christina and Donovan on their date. They seem to get along quite well. And, you know, obviously he's feeding her duck because she asked for it. Now, on the next date that we see, it is Paul and Carmen. And Paul, them two, it's just, I felt like that little section was a little bit cringe. But, yeah, he's offering her his pickle, yeah? And she's saying, yeah, she likes to be fed, so he feeds her. But I'm just like, oh, goodness, you two. Because Paul's quite a joker to me, because you go from, I'm not going to objectify her because she comes in looking all banging, is basically what he's saying. But he says he's not going to objectify her. Then the next sentence you say, I want to give you my pickle. Yes, we know what you mean. Okay, yes, so you fed her your pickle. It was a bit cringe though. But ladies, do you like to be fed? Is Carmen correct? Because I wouldn't want Paul feeding me, thanks. No. Paul definitely seemed very smitten with Carmen. They both seem like they've got a sexual energy between the two of them. He also likes Christina as well. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes. Paul is Mr. Popular right now, much to my dismay. Or surprise, more like, because, you know, I don't hate the man. Laverne is an interesting character now, because I don't get him completely. So it seems like he likes Ace. We don't get to see much of that, and it'd be good to see a bit more of their interactions, because when they do go on this group date and he's sitting there with his hand on her knee, I'm thinking, oh, so last time he was praising her, so he seems like he likes her. But at the same time, he seems to be giving all the other women weird vibes, because they keep saying that he's a bit standoffish, he's a bit hot, cold kind of thing. And he does seem very full of himself, definitely. So yeah, I don't get him. He's a different kind of character. Not necessarily my cup of tea. Not that I'm on the show anyway. But still, you know, it's opinions, isn't it? What do you guys think of Laverne? Do you think he's kind of ready to love? I'm not sure what Ace sees in Laverne, to be honest. I don't quite understand it. I don't think he's got much banter. He talks to her. Maybe if we see more of it, I could then be like, yeah, okay. But otherwise, I just don't see it. I don't see what the big deal is about Laverne. Not at all. Because once you go past the surface, it's just like, and to me, he's all right. Like, out of the guys that are there, yeah, he's all right. You know, he's not necessarily my type. But I feel like, yeah, he don't have no banter. So at the ladies' lounge, Christina talks about being connected to Paul and Donovan. Carmen talks about Eric always going to be her boo once again, and talking about actually liking Paul as well, having a connection with Paul. Dakia didn't mince her words and was just straight up, well, yes, I enjoyed having a little dance with Paul, dancing with him on the dance floor, but really, you know, she's feeling Eric. Dakia says she's looking forward to a future with Eric, so she has her heart set on that man. So we have to see how this plays out, particularly with Carmen in the mix, because I feel like Eric needs to be a bit more assertive with Carmen, because I feel like based on the dates that we're going to see, he's on a date with her, but she seems to have some sort of control over him, where it seems like she kind of dominates him. So I feel like he needs to man up a little bit and let it be known that actually, yes, I am interested in Dakia as well. But we'll see how things proceed. Ace talking about she's very connected to Laverne. I don't understand what the connection is there, but like she said, not everyone kind of gets it, but they have their own little connection going on. I think we see more of this connection. Even Tommy was like, anyone else? I'm sure Laverne just irks Tommy a little bit. So yeah, obviously she said that she's got a connection with Tori too. But yeah, so it's interesting to see what happens. Precious is talking about she likes Paul and Donovan. Now, I don't think either of those two are really looking at her as seriously, because, you know, Paul looks like he's kind of into Carmen and definitely into Christina, and Donovan looks like he kind of likes Christina as well, but we'll see going forward. But she needs to definitely probably look at a few more options, I'd say. Sabrina obviously says, because it's Demetrius and Tori, but even Tommy's like, well, I know now. So again, like, how is it all coming across? She must be really giving a lot of attention to Tori for everyone to be questioning it and being so surprised. Now, after deliberations, Precious took out Laverne. Dakia took out Wiley to give him his bad news that he was not ready to love, even though she kind of, gave it to him a very good way, saying to him that actually he is ready to love, just that the person that he's looking for just isn't there. So, of course, wishing him well. Wiley did kind of struggle a little bit in the process, so, I think it's fair. But also at the same time, I feel like Laverne is very lucky to still be there because his attitude was very stink and he was not very receptive to the feedback, let's say. He tried to put on a good face. But you can see that he was a bit irked by the feedback he was getting. That's my thoughts on that show this week. But what do you guys think? What do you think of Carmen in particular and the way she's been going about it and the way she reacted to Joy and also bringing it up at the end? What do you think about that when she said that, she's not sure about Clifton because of his interaction with Joy? Yeah. And what do you think about Dakia and all the ladies there and the connection so far, and Sabrina and Tori and the Dimitri situation? Let me know your thoughts below.
Yes, so thanks for watching that. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and hit that notification bell so you know when I am uploading some more of people's business. So until then, my nosy people, stay blessed.